Above the Pacific Ocean, a superstorm turns the sea into a vast field of power. Deeper inside the Pacific Reef, the storm turns the coral world into a fortress of survival.
From above, the storm appears almost alive, shaping the surface of the ocean with relentless force. For the smallest fish, every coral branch becomes a wall against the moving sea. At the surface of the Pacific, wind, rain, and waves merge into one moving body. Yet beneath this chaos, another world is waiting in the sea below.
The storm reaches the bottom as moving sand, and the seafloor becomes a place of constant change.
The superstorm rules the surface, but the ocean beneath it is beginning to respond. To understand this storm, we must follow it below the waves.
When the Pacific grows restless, the strongest shelter is often found beneath the reef itself.
Below the storm, the sea is still restless, filled with noise, motion, and pressure.
The same storm that threatens the reef also sends food through its hidden corridors.
The superstorm above reshapes the first layers of the ocean, stirring everything in its reach. Inside the storm-dark reef, the old balance of hunter and hidden prey continues. Even before the reef appears, life in the Pacific Ocean is already adapting to the force above. Beneath the raging surface, the hidden life of the Pacific is just beginning to come into view. This reef is not only surviving the Pacific storm, it is using every shape, shelter, and current to stay alive. Farther below the storm, the Pacific begins to reveal the lives that endure beneath the violence above. Within the coral, the smallest spaces become the strongest protection. The reef is not a single shelter, but thousands of shelters joined together by the sea. The ocean floor is not untouched by the storm. It feels the force as current, pressure, and shifting light. When the storm presses down from above, even the smallest fish know where safety begins. Some fish survive the moving water by holding still in the right place. Every surge from above sends another signal through the reef. The reef becomes a fortress, and every crevice in the sea becomes a refuge.
On the seafloor, survival can mean staying low, staying still, and letting the storm pass overhead.
In the sand, the storm turns every open doorway into a risk. Beneath the superstorm, even sight becomes uncertain. Each species answers the storm in its own way, anchoring, hiding, or yielding to the current. The storm can be felt as a rhythm in the water, and the reef responds to every shift. Not every survivor moves quickly. Some endure by holding their place.
Even in the middle of a superstorm, the ocean still contains places of relative calm.
Even fragile forms can become shelter when the ocean begins to move with force.
Some creatures do not flee the storm. They wait inside the reef and let the sea bring the world to them.
Behind the moving coral, the reef hides quiet rooms for those small enough to enter. Below the storming Pacific, a hidden world is already adapting, enduring, and waiting for the next surge from above. The coral reef beneath the Pacific storm is a maze of pressure, shelter, and living response.
Beneath the Pacific storm, The reef becomes a shelter shaped by pressure, current, and instinct.
Inside this reef maze, every creature depends on the shape of the ocean around it.
When the water grows stronger, the reef becomes a shelter of narrow spaces.
Every branch of coral becomes a narrow refuge when the ocean above is in chaos.
The reef wall becomes a living shield against the restless sea.
In rough water, even a short crossing becomes a decision. On the seafloor, the safest creature may be the one that almost disappears. The storm changes the seafloor, but some lives survive by becoming almost invisible. Under the storm, every open crossing becomes a test of timing. For some creatures beneath the waves, stillness is the strongest defense. The hidden animals of the reef survive the storm by holding to the ocean's strongest edges. The storm turns the coral chamber into both a hiding place and a feeding ground. The reef does not fight every force. It bends, absorbs, and waits.
Even during the storm, the small services of the reef continue in hidden corners.
Even a storm can carry food through the sea, turning danger into opportunity. The storm changes the water, but the ancient balance of the reef remains. In the shelter of the reef, hunters and hunted share the same storm. Every shelter in the reef belongs to a larger system of pressure, hunger, and protection.
Below the superstorm, the Pacific is not silent. It is a living world responding to pressure from above.
The reef has become a living refuge, but the Pacific storm is still pushing deeper through the sea.
The Pacific storm is still reaching downward, turning every coral corridor into a test of survival. The storm above continues to press into the sea, and every hidden life below must answer. Inside the reef, the smallest spaces become the safest rooms in the ocean. In the smallest openings of the ocean floor, survival is measured in seconds. Tiny creatures beneath the waves read the current through touch before they dare to move. The reef is built from countless hiding places, each one shaped by the sea. Beneath the storm, the ocean floor opens and closes like a restless, hidden world. When the water changes, cooperation becomes another form of shelter. The young lives of the reef gather tightly when the sea becomes unpredictable. When the sea becomes unstable, even the smallest partnership must work faster. The reef holds many kinds of strength, from gripping arms to hidden claws.
Some creatures survive the storm by becoming part of the reef itself.
In rough water, disguise is not only a trick, it is a way to endure. The storm turns danger into food, but only for those quick enough to risk the open sea. Even the moving corals become shelter when the storm pushes through the sea. In the storm-dark reef, camouflage becomes a silent form of patience. The storm changes the rhythm of the reef, but the ancient tension between hunter and hidden prey remains. The reef guides them through the storm, one protected passage at a time. Beneath the Pacific Superstorm, every hidden creature becomes part of one living response. Beneath the Pacific Superstorm, the coral reef survives as one connected refuge of movement, pressure, and life. Below the Pacific Superstorm, the sea becomes a test of shelter, instinct, and endurance. Inside the reef, survival is shared by every creature that can find shelter from the moving sea. In unstable water, moving together becomes the safest shape in the ocean.
The storm makes the open water dangerous, and the reef answers with hidden rooms.
What looks like a wall is really a crowded world holding itself against the current. The storm changes the water, and every fish answers with motion. For larger animals, the same current that threatens the small can become a path through the sea. On the storm-dark seafloor, hiding can mean becoming part of the sand. The ocean covers some lives so completely that survival becomes almost invisible. Near the seafloor, survival depends less on speed and more on holding ground. Even larger, calmer lives of the Pacific choose shelter when the sea above becomes violent. Beneath the ledge, many small lives wait together while the storm moves above them. The storm carries food through the reef, but every meal must be taken between pulses of danger. The storm brings danger, but it also carries food through the hidden corridors of the sea. In the shadowed reef, the octopus survives by reading the sea through touch. Every opportunity beneath the storm lasts only until the next surge arrives. The reef holds both refuge and danger, and the storm brings them closer together. Inside the reef, the storm is measured through pressure, shadow, and the behavior of every neighbor. Beneath the raging Pacific, every creature is connected by the same force moving through the sea. Under the Pacific Superstorm, the reef becomes one living refuge, where every hidden life depends on the sea around it. The Pacific Reef holds its life close, turning every surface into protection beneath the storm. Below the storm, the Pacific Ocean is not broken, it is alive, adjusting with every pulse of the sea. The reef becomes a sanctuary, holding fragile lives against the force above. The smallest fish survive by trusting the narrow architecture of the reef. Inside the reef wall, the sea hides entire lives smaller than a shadow. For the youngest lives in the ocean, survival begins inside the smallest spaces. The seafloor changes with every pulse, hiding and revealing its smallest doors. Predator and prey share the same shelter when the sea becomes stronger than either of them. The storm writes its force through the water, and the reef answers with movement. In the smallest partnerships of the ocean, warning and work become survival. Beneath the coral ledge, different lives share one shelter against the moving sea. Even beneath a superstorm, the ocean hides quiet spaces where life can wait. Some lives survive by moving with the sea, and others survive by becoming almost invisible. The storm brings food through the reef, but every brief meal comes with risk. This hidden world beneath the Pacific storm is built from instinct, shelter, and connection. The octopus reads the storm through the stone, waiting for the sea to loosen its grip. Even in the storm, the reef keeps its ancient balance between patience and escape. Above, the storm still rules the waves. Below, the ocean's hidden life continues to endure. Beneath the Pacific superstorm, the reef survives because every hidden life has found a place within the sea. This is only the first descent beneath the Pacific superstorm. Deeper in the reef, every creature must find its place against the pressure of the sea.
The first descent continues, and the Pacific Ocean reveals that survival beneath a storm is never still.
Deeper inside the Pacific Reef, shelter is not one place, but a whole living structure shaped by the sea. For the smallest fish, the reef becomes a maze designed for survival. Far below the waves, even light from the storm becomes part of the reef's warning system. The storm reaches downward not as wind, but as pressure, current, and moving sand. Every surface of the reef holds smaller lives, waiting for the sea to calm. The sand beneath the storm is never still. It hides and reveals life with every passing current. In the smallest homes of the sea, partnership can become the difference between danger and survival. Every hidden creature has its own answer to the same force moving through the ocean. In this unstable sea, even the smallest home must be repaired against the storm. Under the ledge, the reef becomes a shared shelter for many different kinds of life. Under the storm, the distance between shelters becomes a challenge measured in heartbeats. The storm pushes food through the reef, and every hidden creature must decide when to risk the open water. The octopus survives by becoming part of the reef while the storm passes above.
The same current that threatens the reef also carries food through its hidden passages.
In the darkness of the reef, the octopus becomes both witness and survivor. Beneath the Pacific storm, no life stands alone. Every creature is tied to the shape of the sea around it. The storm may disturb the water, but the reef still holds its old rules of waiting and distance. The first descent has only opened the storm's hidden world. Deeper in the reef, the Pacific will reveal how life endures under pressure.
Beneath the Pacific superstorm, the coral terrace becomes one living refuge, where every hidden life depends on every shape around it.
The Pacific storm keeps pushing through the reef, and every passage becomes a place of decision. Deeper inside the Pacific Reef, the storm becomes a hidden pressure moving through every passage of the sea. Inside the coral, the youngest lives wait for the moving sea to give them a safer moment. The ocean floor changes moment by moment, reshaped by a storm that never touches it directly. The reef wall holds life by giving each creature a different grip on survival. For the smallest reef walkers, survival means holding fast to anything the sea cannot easily move.
The reef bends and holds at the same time, giving each creature a different way to endure.
Some lives survive the storm by allowing the sea to hide them completely. Stillness becomes a language beneath the storm. In disturbed water, the safest path is often the one closest to the reef. Under the coral ledge, many forms of life share one small pocket of safety. Inside the reef, patience becomes another form of strength. Food moves through the storm, but only the quick and cautious can reach it. The octopus answers the storm not by fleeing, but by becoming part of the seafloor. The octopus waits with the patience of the reef itself. Even in danger, the storm delivers food, and the reef must seize each brief chance. Even as the storm moves through the sea, the reef keeps its ancient tension alive. Beneath the Pacific storm, every creature survives by using the reef in its own way. Beneath the Pacific superstorm, the reef survives as a connected world of shelter, hunger, pressure, and patience.
The first descent moves deeper still, toward the places where the Pacific hides its strongest survivors.
Here, beneath the storm, the Pacific Ocean hides a calmer chamber where life gathers against the pressure. The Pacific storm keeps pressing through the reef, and the sea turns every corridor into a living test. Inside the smallest branches, fragile lives find shelter from a force far larger than themselves. Even when the storm weakens below, the seafloor still carries the memory of its force. The reef wall is crowded with lives that survive by holding close to the sea's strongest edges. In the smallest homes of the ocean, survival is built through warning, work, and trust. The young fish of the reef turn coral into shelter, waiting for the sea above to calm. The sand beneath the storm is always changing, hiding the smallest doors almost as soon as they appear. Some creatures survive the Pacific storm not by speed, but by patience and contact with the reef. In this unstable sea, even a tiny home must be defended again and again. Under the ledge, the reef becomes a shared shelter for lives that would never gather in calm water. Inside the storm-dark reef, patience and shelter become as powerful as movement. The storm brings food through the reef, but every chance to feed is surrounded by danger. The octopus moves only when the current allows, reading the storm through every touch. The octopus survives by reading every pulse of the sea through the stone beneath it. The storm brings risk into the sea, but it also sends food through every protected hollow.
Within the same shelter, the reef holds fear, patience, hunger, and protection.
Beneath the Pacific superstorm, every creature becomes part of one living system shaped by the sea. Beneath the Pacific superstorm, the reef endures because every hidden life has found a way to belong to the moving sea.
The first descent continues, and the Pacific leads us from shelter into another hidden passage beneath the storm.
The Pacific Reef continues to hold its life close as the storm keeps pressing through the sea.
Beyond the sheltered basin, the Pacific Ocean becomes restless again, forcing every creature to choose its path. For the smallest fish, the safest world is the one too narrow for danger to enter. Here, the storm is felt not as thunder, but as moving sand and shifting pressure. The reef wall becomes a crowded shelter, each small surface holding another life against the storm. For the smallest reef walkers, the sea becomes a force to hold against. The seafloor beneath the storm is never fixed. It changes with every breath of the ocean. In rough water, the school survives by becoming one shape moving through the sea. In the smallest shelter, teamwork becomes a defense against the moving sea. Under the ledge, many small lives share the same thin line of safety. Even under the storm, the old balance of the reef remains. The storm turns the reef into a place of sudden danger and sudden food. The octopus does not resist the Pacific storm. It becomes part of the reef until the sea allows movement again. The storm sends danger through the ocean, but it also carries food into hidden places. The octopus waits inside the reef, changing with the sea instead of fighting it. Inside the same reef, hunger and shelter wait side by side. Beneath the Pacific superstorm, every hidden life is connected by the same moving water.
Beneath the Pacific superstorm, the reef remains alive, because every hidden creature has found shelter inside the moving ocean.
The first descent continues, and deeper beneath the storm, the Pacific hides still more lives waiting in the dark.
The Pacific Reef keeps drawing its life inward, turning every chamber into protection beneath the storm.
In the storm-dark sea, camouflage becomes a quiet shield against both current and danger.
When the open sea becomes unstable, the smallest gaps in the reef become the safest world. The reef wall holds its secrets tightly, giving each small creature a place to endure. Some lives endure by letting the ocean cover them.
The reef becomes shelter, anchor, and warning system all at once.
Beneath the storm, even the sand becomes a moving shelter and a moving threat. The storm brings chaos into the sea, but within chaos, food appears. In this hidden corner of the ocean, survival is built through shared warning and careful work. Under the ledge, different lives share one shelter, because the moving sea leaves no room for pride. The safest path through the storm is the one written by the reef itself. Inside the rock, the octopus becomes another shadow of the Pacific Reef.
The octopus survives by becoming part of the reef until the sea gives permission to move. Around every giant, smaller lives find shelter, direction, and rhythm. Above the endless ocean, the greatest lives of the sea begin to reveal a hidden world below. The first wonder of the sea is scale, a silent giant moving beneath a world of light.
Now the journey leaves the sky behind and follows life into the sea. Beneath the surface, the ocean becomes a cathedral of blue light, motion, and life. Every movement from the largest life in the ocean sends a quiet rhythm through the sea. From below, the ocean reveals its true scale, where giants move like shadows of another world. The giant leads us away from the surface and toward the hidden colors of the sea. As the giants fade into the blue, the reef begins to rise like a living city beneath the ocean.
The sea paints with motion, and every fish becomes part of the living color. An ancient traveler crosses the reef, carrying the quiet memory of the sea. Every path through the ocean is shaped by patience, current, and light. The reef is not still scenery. It is an ocean city constantly at work. Even the sand beneath the sea is filled with quiet signs of life. Together, small lives create patterns that make the ocean feel endless. Inside the school, the sea becomes pure motion, carrying us deeper into the reef. The school becomes a pathway,
leading us farther into the ocean's hidden architecture. Every tower of coral is a crowded ocean neighborhood, built by life over time. Color here is not decoration, it is the language of the reef. The reef holds secret spaces where the ocean slows down and becomes quiet. The ocean survives through small relationships that happen far from the surface. What looks like one wall is really thousands of lives holding the reef together. From every hidden corner, the reef opens again toward the wider sea. Beyond the reef wall, the ocean brings back the grace of a larger world. Some creatures seem to fly through the sea, turning the ocean itself into sky. The reef has shown its colors, but the open ocean is still calling us forward. The reef begins to fall away, and the wider ocean invites us into deeper blue. At this edge, the ocean changes mood without losing its beauty. Small fish become one living shape, turning the sea into motion. And inside the school, the ocean feels endless, alive, and perfectly connected. Beyond the reef, another gentle giant rises from the blue. The ocean's largest travelers move with a silence that makes the sea feel sacred. Around every giant, smaller lives find shelter, direction, and rhythm. From below, the sea turns a living giant into a moving constellation. The giant fades into the blue, but its path leads us back toward the living reef. From open blue back to coral color, the ocean keeps unfolding one world into another. The ocean has brought us back to the reef, where color becomes the next great discovery. Every opening in the coral leads to another chamber of life. The reef is not a single place, but a maze of living rooms beneath the sea. Among the colors, ancient travelers pause as if the ocean itself is breathing. The deeper we look, the more the ocean fills every space with life. Small lives gather into great movement, and the sea becomes a living pattern. Here, the ocean becomes a theater of color, scale, and silent motion. Everything in the reef is connected by currents too soft for the eye to measure. From sky to surface, from surface to reef, the ocean has opened the door to its hidden kingdom. Ahead lies the coral kingdom, where the ocean's colors will become even more alive. The first chapter does not end with discovery. It opens wider into the living colors of the sea. Every wall of coral becomes a doorway, and every doorway leads deeper into the ocean's design. Beneath the moving colors, the ocean floor holds quieter lives that keep the reef alive. The sea gathers small lives into shapes that feel larger than the reef itself. Inside the school, the ocean becomes a river made entirely of life. Ancient travelers pass through the reef as if they know every current by memory. The reef, the giants, and the open sea are never separate. They are one moving world. From the smallest cleaner to the largest shadow, the ocean builds wonder in layers. A single coral tower can feel like a whole ocean when every surface is alive. The ocean has shown us its entrance, and now the coral kingdom is ready to reveal its full brilliance. The coral kingdom opens wider, and the ocean turns color into living motion. Every bright surface of the sea hides a smaller world working quietly beneath it. The deeper we follow one small life, the larger the ocean becomes. In the calmest spaces of the sea, ancient travelers move as if time itself has slowed. Life does not simply pass through the reef. It shapes the ocean with every movement. When thousands move as one, the sea becomes a single breathing shape. The ocean connects tiny sparks of life with giants moving silently above. Even beneath the brightest reef, the seafloor holds its own quiet choreography. The ocean keeps lifting us from detail into wonder, from one hidden life into thousands more. The first chapter has opened the door, but the brightest heart of the ocean is still ahead.
The ocean draws us deeper, where every color seems to lead toward another hidden world.
Continuing through the gateway, we observe the stunning bioluminescence of the coral pillar, teeming with life as the silver spratfish.
The reef hides its wonders in chambers, and each chamber opens like a secret beneath the sea. Even the quiet floor of the ocean is filled with movement, patience, and design. From the sea floor to the open water, the ocean is always rising into motion. Through the living cloud, an ancient traveler appears again, carrying the calm rhythm of the reef. The reef, the turtle, and the open sea move together as one long breath. Every layer of the ocean leads the eye forward, from small color to giant shadow. This living amphitheater is only the beginning of the ocean's deeper brilliance. Ahead, the ocean's coral kingdom waits in full color, ready to pull us even deeper. The ocean pulls us deeper, where color gathers into a living cathedral beneath the sea.
From far away it looks like beauty, but up close the ocean becomes endless work.
Every passage beneath the sea feels designed to lead the eye toward another wonder. The reef does not reveal everything at once. The ocean opens it layer by layer. An ancient traveler crosses the chamber, carrying the patience of the sea through the reef. The ocean's calmest moments are filled with lives that never stop moving. When thousands move together, the sea becomes a single, shimmering breath. Above the reef, the ocean gives space to giants, while the colors continue below. The ocean keeps moving between grand scale and hidden detail, never losing its rhythm. The first chapter keeps widening, and the ocean's brightest kingdom is still waiting ahead. The ocean's brightest kingdom begins to rise ahead, pulling every current toward color. From a distance, the reef is breathtaking. Up close, the sea becomes infinite. One small fish can lead us into a chamber the ocean has kept hidden. Beneath the coral colors, the ocean floor carries its own quiet life. The sea lifts the smallest lives upward until they become a shining cloud. Through the living cloud, an ancient traveler returns, slow and steady in the ocean light. The turtle moves between the reef and the open sea as if both are one breath. Every layer of the ocean leads forward, from tiny color to giant shadow. This living amphitheater is only the entrance to the ocean's deeper brilliance. Ahead, the ocean's coral kingdom waits in full brilliance, ready to carry us into the next chapter. The first doorway has opened, and the ocean now leads us toward its brightest kingdom. Every color in the sea is alive, and every surface holds another hidden story. The ocean does not reveal itself all at once. It invites us deeper, one chamber at a time. Even the quiet floor of the sea is part of the reef's living heartbeat. From the smallest lives, the ocean creates movement vast enough to fill the blue. Between the tiny school and the ancient traveler, the sea shows every scale of wonder. The reef carries every traveler forward, from bright shallows toward a deeper kingdom of color. The opening journey has shown us giants, reefs, and hidden life, but the heart of the ocean is still ahead. This living amphitheater is the final gate of our beginning, a bridge from wonder into full discovery. Part 1 ends at the doorway. Ahead, the ocean's coral kingdom begins to shine in its full brilliance.
Now the ocean opens its coral kingdom, where color, shelter, and life become one. Every tower of coral is a living city built slowly beneath the sea. The closer we move, the more the ocean turns beauty into detail. One small fish can guide us into a chamber the sea has hidden from above. Beneath the coral colors, the ocean floor holds a quieter rhythm of life. The smallest lives gather into motion, and the sea becomes a shining current. Through the silver cloud, an ancient traveler returns to the heart of the reef. The turtle moves through the coral kingdom as if every current knows its path. Here, the reef becomes a kingdom of layers, each one alive with movement. The coral kingdom is only beginning to unfold, and the ocean still holds deeper colors ahead. Deeper inside the coral kingdom, the ocean becomes richer, brighter, and more alive. The ocean's brilliance is built by lives almost too small to see. Each doorway in the reef reveals another secret room beneath the sea. Even below the colors, the ocean floor continues the story in silence. The sea turns tiny bodies into one great moving light. Through motion, the ocean guides us from one living scene to the next. The reef's colors are not still. They move, feed, hide, and return. Above the coral kingdom, the ocean still carries the grace of giants. From shadow to color, the sea connects every layer of life. The coral kingdom stretches farther ahead, and the ocean's living colors are still unfolding. The ocean's colors continue to unfold, revealing a kingdom built from movement and light. The closer we look, the more the sea turns color into countless living details.
One small fish can lead us deeper into the ocean's secret architecture. Beneath the bright coral, the ocean floor keeps its own quiet rhythm. The sea gathers its smallest lives into a shining cloud that moves as one.
Through motion, the ocean leads us from hidden detail into wider beauty.
Every current in the reef carries color, food, shelter, and direction. Above the reef, the ocean still makes space for giants moving in silence.
The shadow of a giant passes over thousands of smaller lives, all connected by the same sea.
The coral kingdom keeps expanding, and the ocean still has more hidden chambers to reveal. The coral kingdom leads us inward, where the ocean hides its most delicate rooms. Inside each hidden chamber, the sea becomes quieter, closer, and more alive. The ocean's smallest workers keep the kingdom shining from within. The reef guides us from one living doorway to the next. Even the quiet sand beneath the sea belongs to the living kingdom. From the floor of the ocean, life rises into motion like a cloud of light. The sea moves us from hidden detail into a wider field of color. Across the coral valley, the ocean brings ancient travelers back into view. The turtle carries the calm of the reef through a kingdom always in motion. The coral kingdom breathes through every layer, and the ocean still opens farther ahead. The coral kingdom has shown its layers, but the ocean is still guiding us beyond the reef. Before the reef falls behind, the sea reminds us that every detail here is alive. The final chambers of the reef glow like memories the ocean asks us to carry forward. Even at the edge of the kingdom, the ocean floor continues its quiet work. The reef sends its smallest lights upward, preparing the sea for a wider journey. Beyond the colors of the coral kingdom, the open sea begins to call again. The turtle follows the current from shelter toward the vast ocean beyond. The reef has been a kingdom of color, but the open ocean holds the giants of the next chapter. As the coral fades behind us, a larger shadow begins to rise from the blue.
Part 2 leaves the coral kingdom behind, and ahead, the open ocean reveals its gentle giants.
Before the giants fully appear, the reef sends one final wave of life into the open sea. The coral kingdom does not end suddenly. It fades slowly into the wider ocean. Even at the edge of the reef, the seafloor continues its quiet choreography. The reef lifts its smallest lights into the blue, as if preparing the ocean for something larger. The turtle becomes our guide from the colored reef into the calm blue distance. Behind us, color. Ahead, scale. Between them, the ocean carries every life forward. The open ocean begins to replace the reef with space, silence, and enormous grace.
At this boundary, the coral kingdom becomes memory, and the sea ahead becomes possibility.
The reef releases us gently, letting the current carry us toward the giants. Part 2 closes as the coral kingdom fades, and ahead, The open ocean prepares to reveal its gentle giants.
The reef falls behind like a memory, and the ocean ahead begins to grow larger.
Beyond the coral kingdom, the sea becomes quieter, wider, and filled with expectation. Even where the reef begins to disappear, the ocean still carries traces of its color.
The small fish leave the reef in waves, carrying its rhythm into the open sea.
The turtle moves between worlds, leaving color behind and entering the quiet blue. Behind us lies shelter. Ahead waits scale, silence, and the calm power of giants.
The ocean opens vertically now, with life moving above, below, and far ahead. In the open sea, even distance feels alive, and every shadow carries promise. The coral kingdom has almost vanished, but its life continues forward through the current. The ocean has carried us from color into vastness, and the gentle giants are now waiting ahead. The ocean has left the reef behind, but every current still carries its life forward. The small fish become a bridge between the coral kingdom and the giants of the sea. Even at the edge of the reef, the ocean leaves no life behind. The reef disappears from sight, but its rhythm continues inside the moving school. The turtle becomes a quiet guide, moving between the memory of color and the promise of scale. In the open ocean, distance becomes part of the wonder. The ocean has become larger than the frame, and every shadow ahead feels alive. Food, light, and movement gather here, drawing the giants closer without sound. The ocean asks us to wait, because true scale is revealed slowly. The coral kingdom has given way to the open ocean, and the giants are almost ready to emerge. The reef has disappeared behind us, and now the ocean begins to reveal its quiet giants. The smaller lives lead the way, turning the open sea into a path of light. The ocean becomes quieter here, as if every current is making room for scale. The sea reveals its giants in pieces through motion, light, and patience. A gentle giant takes form in the blue, carrying the calm power of the open ocean. The open sea is a world of layers, where giants move above, below, and beyond us.
The farther we travel from the reef, the more the ocean replaces color with wonder.
The giant waits in the blue, not as a threat, but as an invitation into the next world. The coral kingdom has ended behind us, and the open ocean is ready to begin its chapter of giants. The open ocean is no longer a distant promise. It is beginning to surround us.
The small fish guide us through the blue, as if they know where the giants will appear. Without the reef behind us, the sea feels larger, deeper, and filled with quiet power. The sea hides and reveals its wonders through motion, never giving everything away at once. A gentle giant forms out of the blue, carrying the silence of the open ocean. In the open sea, the largest lives move with the softest rhythm. The ocean builds its wonder in layers, from drifting plankton to giants above and below. The farther we travel, the more the sea replaces color with scale. The giant is close now, and the ocean seems to slow around its presence. Part 2 leaves us at the edge of vastness, where the gentle giants of the ocean are ready to take the story forward. The ocean has left the reef behind, but every current still carries its life forward. The small fish become a bridge between the coral kingdom and the giants of the sea. Even at the edge of the reef, the ocean leaves no life behind. The reef disappears from sight, but its rhythm continues inside the moving school. The turtle becomes a quiet guide, moving between the memory of color and the promise of scale. In the open ocean, distance becomes part of the wonder. The ocean has become larger than the frame, and every shadow ahead feels alive. Food, light, and movement gather here, drawing the giants closer without sound. The ocean asks us to wait, because true scale is revealed slowly. The coral kingdom has given way to the open ocean, and the giants are almost ready to emerge.
Part 3 begins in the open ocean, where giants move with the calm power of the sea.
The largest travelers in the ocean move without hurry, carrying entire worlds around them. From below, the sea turns a gentle giant into a moving sky. The giant leads us deeper into blue water, where the ocean becomes pure distance. Above the blue, other giants appear, moving through the sea as if flying through light. The open ocean is layered with quiet giants, each one moving in its own ancient rhythm. Between the smallest particles and the largest shadows, the ocean becomes one living system.
Even the smallest fish can shape the open sea into patterns of astonishing beauty.
The open ocean adds another rhythm, swift, graceful, and alive in the light. From giants below to swift travelers above, the open ocean is only beginning to reveal its scale. The open ocean reveals movement at every height, from swift travelers above to silent giants below. Speed in the sea can still feel peaceful when every movement belongs to the current. From below, even the swiftest animals become silhouettes of grace against the light. The fish lead us back downward, where the giants keep the ocean's slower rhythm. The open sea holds many speeds, but the giant carries the calmest one. Around one gentle giant, the ocean gathers small lives into a moving constellation. Some giants seem to fly, turning the ocean into a sky made of blue water. A shadow passes, and the small fish answer with one perfect turn. The open ocean is not empty space. It is a layered world of motion, scale, and light. Beyond these giants, the ocean still stretches farther, and more shadows are waiting in the blue. Farther into the open ocean, the blue begins to reveal even larger lives. The journey moves from one giant to another, guided only by fish, light, and current. In this deeper blue, size appears slowly, as if the ocean is shaping it from shadow. The ocean's giants do not rush. They let the sea move around them. Beside a giant, the ocean feels older, wider, and filled with quiet strength. From below, the giant becomes a moving horizon inside the sea. One slow movement from a giant can shift the rhythm of everything nearby. The open ocean holds speed and stillness together, each one balanced by the current. Here, the ocean becomes a vast living map, written in movement, shadow, and light. The giants have shown their scale, but the open ocean still carries us toward deeper blue. The giants fade into memory, but the ocean continues to draw us deeper into blue. In deeper water, the sea speaks more softly, but every movement feels larger. The open ocean changes mood slowly, trading brightness for depth. Even here, far from the reef, small lives still write bright lines through the sea. The school opens like a curtain, and the ocean beyond feels endless. The farther we travel, the more the sea becomes silence, space, and expectation. Above us, light still lingers. Below us, the ocean begins another story. The last bright fish lead us toward the edge of a deeper ocean. The sea grows darker, but its mystery remains gentle, alive, and waiting. Beyond the giants, the ocean prepares to reveal a quieter and deeper world. Beyond the giants, the ocean becomes quieter, and every small light begins to matter. Here, the sea no longer dazzles with color. It draws us in with silence. The smallest lights in the ocean become stars in a world without sky. The journey that began with giants now follows smaller lives into the deeper blue. The ocean changes its texture here, bending light as it carries us farther down. In deeper water, life becomes softer, stranger, and more carefully hidden. The deeper sea does not need bright color. It creates wonder with glow, shape, and silence. The surface has almost vanished, yet the sea remains alive with quiet signals. Every fading light leads to another, and the ocean keeps opening below. The giants have led us here, but now the ocean's hidden lights will guide us forward. The open ocean has carried us beyond the giants, into a world guided by light too small to see from above. Here, the sea no longer shines from the sun, it begins to shine from life itself. The deeper ocean writes its map in small pulses of light. In the quiet sea, even a fragile pulse can feel like a signal from another world. The ocean's colors have not vanished. They have become softer, stranger, and hidden inside the dark. The farther down we travel, the more the ocean replaces shape with glow. Small bodies in the dark carry their own lamps through the sea. Above us, the bright ocean fades. Ahead, the hidden ocean begins to glow. The darkness is not empty. It is filled with signals, drifting bodies, and quiet life. The giants have vanished behind us, and the ocean now leads us toward its secret world of light. The ocean's secret world begins not with darkness, but with the smallest lights of the sea. In the deeper sea, every small glow becomes a guide through the blue. The ocean hides color inside the dark, waiting for the right light to reveal it. Here, the ocean moves slowly, as if every creature is listening to the dark. Life here depends on what drifts through the ocean, falling slowly from worlds above. The sunlight is gone now, but the sea has learned to make its own stars. In this darkness, the ocean speaks through brief flashes and hidden movement. The deeper path is gentle, but it leads toward one of the ocean's least seen worlds. Small lights gather together, and the hidden ocean begins to feel like a living constellation. The open ocean has given us giants, but the deep sea now offers a quieter kind of wonder. The deep sea begins softly, with falling particles, hidden lights, and lives that move almost without sound. Every glow becomes a guide, and every guide leads farther from the world of sunlight. Here, the ocean turns fragility into light and silence into movement. The colors of the reef have changed form, becoming hidden flashes inside the dark. The deep ocean is not empty. It is a slow rain of life, falling and rising through darkness. Even in darkness, the sea has patterns, pathways, and quiet communities. The ocean no longer shows everything clearly, but it reveals enough to keep wonder alive. The deeper path is darker, yet the ocean continues to place small lights ahead of us. The sea is guiding us with light, made by life itself. Part 3 has moved from giants into hidden light, and the deep ocean is still pulling us farther down. The deep sea begins softly, with falling particles, hidden lights, and lives that move almost without sound. Every glow becomes a guide, and every guide leads farther from the world of sunlight. Here, the ocean turns fragility into light, and silence into movement. The colors of the reef have changed form, becoming hidden flashes inside the dark. The deep ocean is not empty. It is a slow rain of life, falling and rising through darkness. Even in darkness, the sea has patterns, pathways, and quiet communities. The ocean no longer shows everything clearly, but it reveals enough to keep wonder alive. The deeper path is darker, yet the ocean continues to place small lights ahead of us. The sea is guiding us with light, made by life itself. Part 3 has moved from giants into hidden light, and the deep ocean is still pulling us farther down. The deeper ocean pulls us gently downward, where life becomes softer, stranger, and lit from within. Every glowing particle becomes a signpost in a world where sunlight no longer reaches. The colors of the surface have not disappeared. They have become hidden inside the dark. In this quiet chamber, the ocean feels less like a place and more like a breathing dream. Small lights gather in the dark, forming quiet communities where the sea seems endless. The deep ocean never shows everything at once. It reveals wonder in brief flashes. Below this twilight, the ocean begins to trade open space for hidden signals. The sea keeps placing small lights ahead, guiding us from one mystery to the next. The giants are behind us now, and the ocean's hidden lights have become the only guide. Ahead, the deep ocean waits with a quieter beauty, and the journey is still descending. The deeper the ocean becomes, the more its beauty depends on patience, darkness, and light.
In this hidden sea, even the smallest glow can become a path. The colors of the ocean have become quieter now, hidden inside fragile moving bodies. The deep sea feels silent, but every pulse is part of its hidden language. What falls through the ocean feeds a world that almost never sees the sun.
In darkness, the ocean organizes life through signals, distance, and gentle motion. The deeper ocean does not show everything clearly, yet it